This is the White Chair Beauty Series, brought to you by the Brofix Academy. We're Naomi and Sasan, giving beauty pros real strategies to grow with confidence, one episode at a time.
Hi.
Hi. Officially
Welcome.
starting our first episode of our podcast, the Brofix Academy podcast. 0 subscribers,
Zero
0
s-
followers. So, hey,
Welcome.
you got to start somewhere, and you have to grow. The purpose of us doing this podcast is to help other local businesses. And you don't have to be the beauty industry. You can be a roofer, a plumber, to help them understand exactly what goes on behind the scenes, how we market, how we deal with customer service, how to add on more services, how to grow your business, how to scale it, where you can when to know when to onboard someone, how much budget you should put into advertising. Everyone now sticks to Instagram. They think Instagram is going to grow their business. Hey, some people it might if you're consistent and you create amazing content. Others, we diversify. We do Google. We do all these different ads that we do. We do Facebook ads. We do Instagram ads. We don't just go after where our organic. We boost our posts, so we do paid ads, but we do strategically. But these are different things you integrate with your business, growing your local presence through your Google profile. Apple Connect business is getting big now. A lot of people are not utilizing that. Obviously, there's Yelp. You have to take advantage of all these. So we're going to get into that. I'm just giving a quick overview of what we do. So I do the marketing. She's the talent.
I'm the talent.
So she does all the brow waxing, all the amazing stuff. So when we first opened up, we were Brows by Naomi 7 years ago. We officially opened up in Santa Monica. Then COVID happened, and then from that point we rebranded ourselves to the Brofix, and then now we opened up the Brofix Academy, and it's an amazing journey so far. You want to quickly go over anything?
So just to recap, we're married. We have 2 kids, 2 dogs. We currently reside in Austin, Texas. We started our business in Los Angeles, and we now have 2 locations in Los Angeles and 1 location here in Austin. So our life is very chaotic, but in the best way. And we still travel back and forth to make sure oversee all of that. We also have 7 employees at this point, and we kind of just wanted to do this podcast for anybody starting the journey or is in the journey or needs help, or little tips and tricks that we've found along the way, because it is a learning experience even every day now.
I want to rewind a little bit. I want to go back how you got started. So you worked at a salon in Santa Monica.
Yes. So when we met about 11 years ago, and I was already at a brow studio in Santa Monica. And I was honestly pretty happy there. And as time went by, I was I was ready to leave. I'd been there for 4 years, and it was a corporate company. And he kind of planted the seed, because he has a marketing background. He said, you should start your own business. And he's very entrepreneurial. But I was terrified of that at that point and was not ready. So I ended up going to another salon, and I worked there for about 3.5 years. And at that point, he just kept kind of, hey, you should start your own business. And I kept building my clientele. And at that point, I felt really ready. And that's when
we
started looking for studios.
I
and
was
locations.
like, you know what, it's time. There was a trigger where you actually went to another salon. You worked there for a couple years, and then you wanted to go on vacation, and you couldn't get time off.
Yeah.
At that point, you're like, I think it's time.
Yeah.
And then so we opened up our first salon, we opened up in the suite in Salon Republic, 1 chair, 1 talent, and I did the marketing. And
that's when we were Brows by Naomi.
Yeah, Brows by Naomi.
Because I was the only one.
And how we got started, a lot of, some people just they start their business by, they just open up a suite, and people will come, my friends will come, they'll refer friends. That's good. That's a great way to get started, but we wanted to be more strategic.
Well, honestly, if we want to talk honestly, that's how I thought. I thought, it's just word of mouth. People will come. Everybody I tell, they'll come. And I think probably maybe I retained about 50% of my clientele, which I thought,
Yeah. So how we're gonna get into the marketing aspect of it in later episodes, but we quickly want to talk about how we got started. I was like, hey, you need to tell your clients that actually, that love what you do, the services that you provide, eventually you're gonna, hey, yeah, you gotta let them know that you're gonna be leaving soon. And I was like, hey, if they want to give you their information, if you ask them and they give it to you, then great. And I was like, mostly you want to get phone numbers or emails or any type of, date or information, contact information, get back to them as soon as possible. So I think we had a set plan, like, hey, we're going to open up in, let's say, I think February. Was it February or March?
It was February.
February.
17.
17. No, 17 or 18?
17.
Are you sure? Because it's COVID. 6 months later.
That's true. So 2018. I don't know what year it is
Yeah, I don't
anymore.
know. After that, there's no COVID. A year almost after that.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, you need to collect information. So I think starting like in January or December, you saw like, hey, I'm going to be leaving. I'm going to, and then you gathered emails.
And I had an email list from my previous.
Yeah. So you had your email list you had a list of emails previously, and then, you obtained more. You're like, hey, if you want to give me information, I'm going to be leaving. So they gave you their contact information, and then I took all that information and put it into a email campaign. There's MailChimp, there's Brevo, there's all these. We started off with MailChimp.
Because it was free.
Yeah, I think you got about like 230 emails or so, which is a good amount. And I sent an email out, I think a week before our launch date. We're like, hey, we're going to be, opening, Browse by Naomi's going to be opening up, at date, whatever, I forgot
I think on March 8th.
March 8th, February or March. You should probably know better than me.
It was March 8th.
And then 24 hours prior, I sent another email out saying, hey, in 24 hours, we're going to be launching our appointment booking system. And then after 24 hours, then I sent another email saying, your schedule's open. And then website, obviously, I didn't go through the website. That's another aspect of it. You need to have a website set up. But
So, yes, while we were preparing everything,
yeah, but we're going to get
location,
into that. I don't want to
finding
get
a
into
spot.
those details.
Yeah.
We have a website, obviously, a booking system. And then you're like, hey, we're launching, boom, 24 hours, and the day came. I sent that email out, schedules open, and then we started getting appointments booked. And we're like, oh, excited, clapping our hands, like, oh my God, I can't believe we're doing this. Obviously, anyone starting their own business is all nervous, and we got a bunch of. The first week we were like, kind of booked up some of the days, and then we stopped getting appointments. We're like, what's going on? So not everyone followed through. So I think like 4 or 5 days went by, and you're like, babe, I'm not busy. We're like, what's going on? We're not busy. Like, I only have 2 appointments today. And I'm like, calm down, relax.
I was like, did I do the right thing? Because that was I think fear holds you back just in general. And that was what I was always scared of, that, it's like, if they build it, if you build it, will they follow? I don't know, but.
Yeah, and 4 or 5 days went out, and I was like, hey, take a deep breath, relax. We have to do marketing. You have to invest money. To make money, you have to spend money. And that's where, obviously, in the next couple episodes, we're going to go through that strategically, how to do that, what you did, what I did during downtimes, your burnouts.
Yep.
All that stuff we're going to, obviously teach. And if you get one golden nugget from it, will make us happy.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's our ultimate goal. But from there, that was it. And then we grew, we scaled out. COVID hit, we shut down, opened back up. And then from there, we hired our first esthetician, then our second one, third, fourth, and then we just grew. And then we were like, hey, we need another location. We still have our Santa Monica one. That's our
It's our
headquarters.
OG, original.
Yeah, so that's the
same chair.
Same chair. Actually, a new one.
We did get a new one.
But that's just a quick
overview
of what our podcast about us. But let's get started. So, main question: why did you want to do this podcast with me? Why do you want to do this? What's the point of having it? I mean, obviously.
Well, to be completely honest, I did not want to do this. I think he has been poking me, trying to have me do it for, I don't even know, a year?
Yeah.
Probably about a year. And
well, the main question, because we kind of went over that, was why did you say yes to this?
Why did I say yes?
Why did you say yes?
Well, it's kind of the right time. I feel like, for the last year, we do have 2 kids. So one of our kids is 3.5. He's in school, and we have a 5-month-old. And so when I was pregnant, I was just like, no, too tired. And now she's kind of at the age where I feel like she is a little older and she naps for
Yeah.
longer, and so it just kind of fell into place. And
Yeah.
and
It's timing. I think
everything
timing
is timing. It
timing
really is.
is very important
Yeah.
in anything you do in life.
Yeah.
Timing and a little bit of luck and hard work.
Yep.
I mean, for me to answer that question is I've been wanting to do it. I was just waiting for you to just say yes.
Yes.
So who do you think this podcast is for? Like, who, if you were to help someone or someone that you want to reach out to, who would this?
Well, anybody wanting to start a business, maybe a mom that, has kids, somebody that wants a partner to partner up with and start a business with. We'll kind of give you the ins and outs of all of that, like real life and how we did it, how you can make it work. Just anybody that has aspirations and goals and wants to be better and do more.
Yeah. I think this is perfect for any beauty pro, esthetician, cosmetologist that wants are new, or like, hey, I want to start a new career. This is perfect because we can go through the beginning to now, how we grew and how we.
And even if you've been in the industry for a long time,
we can help you.
even if you're older, I think we started the business when I was 30.
Well, it's not about age.
Yeah, but a lot of people, they think you have to be young.
Yeah.
People, you can start this at any age or any time in your life, and
those that have beauty salons right now or have a studio, and you're stuck a little bit, you don't know what to do. Like, hey, we're not busy. We're not. Well, this can definitely, the marketing, the information we'll provide to you, will definitely help you. Because we had times where we were in the beginning, we were stuck.
And then we have to figure out.
Yeah, and there's stuff that hit like.
It still happens.
Yeah, like in January, the fires in the Palisades happened, and a lot of businesses were affected, and people had lost their homes. Unfortunately, people moved. And then it affected us in Santa Monica. Clients couldn't come there, and then it was slow for us. So you got to figure out what to do. And then now, I think there's protests going on and riots going on. So this is life. You have to deal with it. You have to figure out, hey, don't stress yourself out. Take a deep breath. What am I gonna do? Is it affecting everyone? Is it just me? So that's So you got to figure it out, and that's who our goal is to. And it's not just beauty professionals. Like I said, this is for any local business that needs foot traffic, or like I said, a plumber, a roofer, a power washer. This will definitely help you in regards to that. If someone does not have experience and they want to start something like this, what advice would you give them?
Well, our students that buy our online course, they usually start with no experience. And the best way to start, even if you have no experience, is to go get the experience. That can be scary, of course. But if you learn from somebody that really knows what they're doing, and just repetition,
You're talking about just the aspect of the
doing
course. We didn't actually explain. We actually have the Brow Fix Academy where you teach brow waxing, lash lifts, and brow laminations to anyone that wants to get started, obviously, but also want to expand on their skills. But experience, I mean, by that I mean I'm asking like they're not the service type where experience, like they have no business experience, like they want to just go out there.
Oh, well, you can listen to this podcast. But also, you just want to, I mean, I know you, for example, if you don't know something, you will buy every single book under the sun. You will read it cover to cover. You will look online. You have to research what you're doing and have a business plan before we even started. When we were Brows by Naomi, you had, a QuickBooks of how much we needed, all the supplies we needed, how, our 6-month plan, we had 6 months of savings. We made sure we could, be financially secure. All of those things have to be in place. You can't just be like one day, oh, I want to open a business, boom, and let it happen. You have to have a plan backing yourself. And then also have the educations part as well. I mean, I know whenever I was learning anything new, I would just practice on every single friend I had. Any person that I could do a free service on until I got really good at it. And then I would charge my clients 50% in the beginning until I got really, really good at it. So, practice and hard work are key.
Yeah, I think the experience, if you have no experience and you want to start a business, I think the most important thing, number one, is the mental aspect, the mentality of it is preparing yourself. This is going to be rough in the beginning. It's not going to be easy, but you can overcome it by, keep working hard.
Yeah, it can't be a hobby. It has to be
a business.
A business.
Don't treat this as a hobby, because a lot of beauty pros out there, they're like, oh yeah, I'm fine with doing 3-4 a day, or they treat it like a hobby. No, you have to approach this as a business.
I mean, in the beginning, I would work 6 days a week. I would work 8:30 to 4:30, even if I did not have any clients. I would stay. If a client was like, "Hey, can you, I mean, obviously you don't want people walking all over you, but in the beginning, I would be like, "I'll stay after. If you can only come in at 5:30, I will stay after." I was like down to get any appointment, So, yeah,
And then,
I mean,
besides that, then I would throw in budgeting, allocating your money properly, having, like you mentioned, have a set amount of funds to the side, because you have to think about it. The first 6 months, I always give it the red light, yellow light, green light effect. Red light is you're not making money, you're losing money. Yellow light, you're breaking even. Green light, you're profitable. The beginning, just think about it. You're going to be in the red light. You're not going to be making money. You're going to be losing. You're putting money into the marketing aspect of it.
and giving back to the company too. You can't just be like, "Oh, I made money. I'm going to go buy a Louis Vuitton bag."
You got to reinvest it into yourself.
Yes.
So that's why you have to put aside 6 months, 8 months of money, because that money is going to go back to the business, or you're going to be losing money.
Yes.
Then when you start getting to the yellow light, then you're breaking even, kind of, but you're still not making money. And then you're going to the ground. Then you're profitable, and you're like, okay, cool. And then you just expand and keep growing from that. And then from there you hire someone. So
Yes.
that's what we're gonna, obviously get into. But that's if you have no experience. That's one thing I would focus. A lot of people just get started thinking, oh, I'm gonna be busy, or my family friends are gonna refer me. Oh, no, you gotta approach it. Hey, from zero, I gotta grow it. How am I gonna grow it? I gotta put, time, money, effort, hard work, all into it, and that's.
And before I started my own business, I had, over 7 years of working and gaining clientele. I'm not saying that you have to do that, but for me, that gave me hands-on experience, and people trust me. You build rapport with them. You create connection with them. That is the most important thing, because people.
Yeah. That's good that you brought that up. I definitely, I wouldn't say, hey, you got your license, I'm gonna go open up a salon. If you do that and you're successful, great, amazing. That's good
some
for
people
you.
are just natural talent, or if they've done it their whole lives. But
I would recommend going to work for someone.
Somebody you can have like a mentor. Like I had a mentor, and that taught me a lot as well. So that's great. And just having, and also too, if you work in other companies, you can see what works and what doesn't, or what you would want to do and what you wouldn't want to do.
Yeah. If there was something you personally struggled with in the industry, in the business, and you want to tell someone about it, like your struggles that you went through, what was that you dealt with?
Like, are you talking about like client to client, or just in general?
Anything within the industry. It can be industry, customer service. It can be any struggles.
Well, sometimes my biggest struggle is because I can be a people pleaser. Sometimes it's hard for me to set boundaries, and in the beginning, especially when you're trying to, like I said, like I'll come in anytime, or I'll give people my personal number, and now I've had to set boundaries a little bit, especially since now I have kids and a family of my own, and if somebody texts me at midnight, I'm not going to respond to the text until business hours, like that kind of a thing. Other struggles, honestly,
I think in the beginning I think it wasn't struggles, it's learning curves.
Yes, learning curves is better, because to be honest, like we've almost been in business for 7 years, and I don't think we've had that many struggles. Like, of course we have worked through certain things, but it all kind of like, it all works, I don't know how to explain.
Well, learning curves, like the struggling in the beginning was when we first launched, we didn't have customers put in credit cards for no shows.
Oh yes, that was a big one.
So we were struggling through that. So people were just like, I'm not gonna show up, and I'm like, that's not fair. Like, and then from there we put in the no show, and then we were like, okay.
That can be a struggle too, because some people give pushback, even if, I obviously we understand if people have emergencies and that kind of a thing. But if somebody doesn't give us 24 hours and just no shows, but then complains about the no show, you have to know that you value your time. Like they should value your time, because you could have a client in that time. So, sometimes I can be a little bit more.
I think in the beginning you're like, no, let's not charge them. And I was like, you know what? You have to value your time.
Yeah, you have to value
your time. You
have
to see, you booked an hour of my time. That's my value for that hour. If you're not going to show up, hey, that's on you.
Yeah, like for example, the other day I, got my son ready. I woke him up early. I got myself ready. I got in the car. I really wanted to stop and get a coffee. I was like, nope, I got to be at work on time. I dropped my son off. I got to work, and the first client of the day no-showed. And I was like, I could have had my coffee,
Yeah.
So, I'm there to do a job, and I'm not going to run late for that person, so they should give you the same respect.
Yeah, absolutely. The struggle, I think, in the beginning was we had a list of like 250 emails, and we expected at least like 75% or 80% of them to follow you, and it was more like 50 to 40%. Yeah. So we struggled there in the beginning, having these expectations that you set up for yourself that,
Yeah, this is how we kind of are, is I always think of things like too optimistically, and he's a little bit more.
I'll push a day every day. Like, we have no appointments today. What can I do to get to the appointments?
Exactly.
Even though we'll have like 70% booked.
Exactly.
I'm like, what do I have to do to get us booked?
But
She's
that's
like,
why
we're booked. And I was like, we need to get that 30%. Even though throughout the day, though, people will eventually call, book online. But I'm like, no, we have to do something. And then I was like, hey, let me look at my the Google profiles. Let me look at my ads or my conversion rates.
He tries to figure it out. He's very logical, very analytical. And I'm just like, everything's amazing, rainbows and sunshines. And he thinks the world is ending every day. But that's why we're a good team, because we can balance each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And this is stuff I love talking about, getting deep into it, where the psychological factor of how your website's set up, having the book now button set up certain ways. Remember, we had one little issue, and then I fixed it, and then we're like, oh.
Well, if somebody isn't getting appointments, we're like, okay, why is that happening? What's going on? He always tries to get to the bottom of it. He's not just like, everything is okay, like I am, which is great.
And the reason I'm bringing this up is this is a little stuff we're going to talk about, teach you. And those are our struggles, and we pivot. This industry, you have to pivot, you have to adapt. You can't
constantly. You can't just stay stagnant, because everything is ever changing, always. So you have to figure out, if something isn't the going the same way, or then there's some other reason. I mean, even our booking system, I think something changed where you had to click twice to book, and we stopped getting as many appointments. And then he fixed it.
Because people don't want to.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, something's broken, and then
and then he fixed it, and then look, we start getting appointments again. It is interesting.
Even the colors of your website, all this stuff plays a major role.
And the look of your website, it has to. I mean, people think that we are a corporation, and it is literally me and him behind every call, every email, everything.
Yeah.
So, that is super important, to look professional and sound professional and act professional at all times.
Yeah. We went beyond struggles, but we have to continuously pivot, adapt, grow. You're going to learn something new every single day, and mentally be strong.
I guess my biggest struggle is sometimes I have imposter syndrome too, where I'm like, oh my God, I'm not good enough, or I'm not this, or I'm not, which I think everybody deals with, insecurities and that kind of thing. But, I'm glad that I have him, because he's like my partner in crime. And also, if I ever am having a really bad day, he always pulls up my reviews, and he's like, look at these reviews. Look at these reviews.
And ask for reviews.
Yeah, asking for reviews is important.
That's very important.
I sometimes get shy about that.
Setting up an automation system for that.
Yeah.
We have an automated system that asks for reviews that go through text messages. It's very important.
Mm-hmm.
Social proof is very important for your business. People like to read them, and hey, I want to book with them because they do an amazing job. So what's one thing you hope people take away from this first episode of ours?
I just hope people get inspired and know that, honestly, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Because as long as you have the drive and the hard work ethic, and you believe in yourself, you can do it for sure. If you're thinking of doing something, then just that little thought in your mind can create a lot more than you think.
Yeah. I think if I just get one person, if they're watching one episode and one person's like, oh my God, this is going to help my business, and they just get one golden nugget from it, I think that's what I hope this will accomplish. But I just hope that, this will help a beauty pro, a local business, grow their business to be profitable and, make life a little bit more easier. And there's going to be days where you struggle. There's going to be days where...
we still struggle.
Yeah, there's going to be those rainy days, but, hopefully this will give you a sunny day and help you grow your business. And that's our primary goal of doing this podcast. Well, that pretty much wraps it up.
I think that was a great first episode.
Yeah, it's our first episode.
We're both really nervous, so I know if it didn't come off perfect.
We're gonna hear noises.
But we're gonna get better.
In the next couple weeks, we're gonna get much better. We're gonna have better technology and hopefully. But our goal is, obviously, we just went through it, is to help as many beauty pros out there, local businesses, to grow. And that's pretty much anything else.
So this is just like the intro, but every week we want to focus on one thing.
Yeah. 2 episodes a week, I think, is our primary goal. We have kids, so we don't know what's going to happen with that. But I think we'll
do our best.
So that's episode 1.
Thank you for watching.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Subscribe here.
Yeah, right. I'm going to put a little button over there.
Yeah. Okay, bye.